we go. Hello, everyone.
I,
Welcome to the second Black Mirror session, discussion session. Today, we're discussing episode one, season one, part two. I mean, this is the second part of the same episode because last time everybody wanted to talk about it, talk about it, talk about it. Actually, the last discussion lasted an hour and a half. It was supposed to last just an hour, but everybody wanted to speak and speak. So we decided to make a new session, and especially for those new guys, if you want to share your ideas, we're going to discuss the topics, the very interesting topics presented in this episode. So I would like to start. I would like to start by hearing some opinions of those of you who were not here last time. What do you thought? What are your thoughts, general thoughts, and idea about the episode? Felipe, what happened to you? How was it for you?
yes, it's the second time that I watch this episode.
Yeah,
The first time is when Black Mirror uh, premiere
yeah.
uh, a long time ago.
In
Uh,
2011, the first time it premiered, or when it got to Netflix?
when it got to Netflix.
Ah, yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yes, I think that the main idea for me is that it's a critic to our human nature, to
yeah.
our
Yeah.
human society, and how we behave with now a new tool that is internet and social network. I think that the idea is to show some behavior of our uh, our human society, and I don't think that the internet is to blame for all the problems that are shown in the episode.
Yeah, I think in most episodes of Black Mirror, what they do is that they show you that technology is dangerous, but not by itself because of us. We make it dangerous. We don't know how to control it, so it can turn against us, as it happened here, and as it happens in all the episodes. So, do you think that? Do you first? Did you like the episode?
Yes, it's very interesting
Who doesn't like
for
this
me.
episode? It's the best episode of the series. Do you think that is a likely situation that you do you see this happening in the real life, in real world?
Yes, I think that it will happen exactly like that in the UK,
Yeah.
considering all the importance that the royals have in their nation. I think that will happen like in the episode. So
Yes.
that's very interesting.
Is it scary how similar or how likely this is to happen? Is it scary likely? It would be awesome to have this with Piñera. Awesome. I would love to watch. I would be on full screen, 4K definition. I don't know. I mean, I don't want to see Piñera having sex with anyone, but I would like to him suffer at least.
Yes, and it's interesting about the UK that they have so much importance to one person. I mean, from the royal family,
Hmm.
we don't have that in Chile.
Yes,
So maybe the same situation in another country will play different. But
I I agree. We were saying that it could be Alexis Sanchez, for example,
yeah,
or
something like that.
Arturo Vidal, someone like that, Gary Medel, that it would be like, wow, no one would want them to suffer. I would like Alexis Sanchez to suffer a little bit, but not Gary. So yeah, I think it would be something like that, but we don't have royalty. So yeah, I don't know. We cannot understand why they feel so much for this princess. But anyways, it's the situation that, especially with the prime minister and the poor pig, as Jorge was saying, poor pig. So, Jorge Pinto, what are your thoughts and reflections? How did you feel with this episode? Did you like it? Tell me. Microphone, microphone.
Sorry.
No, it's
Hello,
okay.
guys.
Hello.
Hello. This chapter is very interesting. Um, it's I agree with Felipe. I- it's a critic of our society, and I think that Princess Susanna is something like Lady D. I think.
Yeah.
I think is in our times, Lady D be live. Maybe the Premier Minister or First Prime Minister, no sé cómo se dice.
Prime Minister.
¿Cuánto?
Prime Minister. Prime.
Prime Minister, Prime. Maybe do something that, and us, including me, we like see this situation.
Would you like
Our,
to see it?
yes, our society is morbus.
Yes, we looked for the same word last class, and we
Yeah.
couldn't find the word morboso. But yeah, that's a concept. We define it. It's morbo. And you want to
Morbid.
see. You want to see. It's not morbid because morbid is like fat, obese, morbid obese. So this is like morboso, but we don't know the exact word for morboso. But morboso is okay.
It's morbid.
Morbid. No,
morbid.
I Google it, but morbid it's something like sick, a little bit like
Okay,
illness. So this
like
is
fat
like
guy.
not not
Like
necessarily
me.
not not that, no, you're not a morbid. But yeah, this is something like it's a thing that we have as a society. It's not necessarily negative. It's just like this
Yeah.
sick curiosity we have towards things happen. So yeah, you would love to see this happening, right? I think we all agree
I
here that it would be at least interesting.
I would pay for watch that.
You would pay for what the Piñera having
Yeah.
next. So yeah, okay,
Yeah, yeah.
I would like to hear you, Nicolas. What are your opinions on the chapter? Any reflections? Or did you like it, dislike it? You think it's likely, unlikely?
I found it hilarious.
Hilarious.
Uh,
You laugh about it?
yeah, it was
Yeah,
very funny.
I figured that you would laugh.
Yeah. I know there's people there that will think it's controversial. You know,
Yeah,
it's like a drama. Like I don't know. In the UK, it's very important. Prime Minister,
in the royal
the
family.
Royal Society. Yeah, I find it very uh, drama-like.
Yeah,
No,
yes.
but I found it very funny.
Yeah,
It's like a dark comedy.
it's a dark
It's more
comedy.
like a dark comedy. Yeah.
Yeah, there are some moments when you kind of laugh, and others when you are like you. I think we can all feel a little bit sorry for the prime minister at some stage. We empathize with him. So
Yeah, of
Carlos,
course.
would you like to share some reflections, or you are not ready yet? Maybe you are not listening. Are you there? No, maybe not. Okay. Can you listen? Can you hear me? No, we cannot hear you. Hey, we cannot hear you. Microphone. Oh, I don't know what's going on.
Hello.
There you are. So, would you like to share some comments or not yet? Not yet. Sure. No problem. No problem. Okay, so let's go into the discussion right away. We discussed some very interesting topics that I would like to go through again, a little bit of it. So when this happened, the one of the first thing we discussed was how quick or how easy it was to upload the video, and how in just a few minutes the whole world was aware of the situation. Except, I mean, everybody, but the government still wanted to hide information. So we talked about that for a long while. It was most of the discussion was about that. Was if it's necessary sometimes for authorities to hide this information. In this case, I would like to hear maybe Jorge Pinto. Jorge Pinto, do you think it was necessary for the authorities, or in the UK authorities who were with the president, to try hide this information from the public at the beginning, because they were trying to hide it? They were planning not to tell anyone. So do you think it was a good move or a logical move?
For the security of the government, the state.
First, do you think that the security of the government or the state was at risk in this situation?
I don't know. Maybe 20 years ago, yes, but now I don't know because the society is different. Our generation is millennial, generation X, have other behavior, other ideas, and I think the impact of the videos is not more aggressive to us than the bombers, the people of that of 50 years maybe.
Yeah.
And I think the refuse or prohibir
Yeah, to ban.
to ban to ban videos, upload videos or photos. I think it's not the right via, or
The right way,
because
right? Yeah.
right the right way, because our society is progressing, and we are maduros.
Do you think that we're a mature generation, a grown-up generation?
Because for example, today, if a video of you having sex is minus impacting than 10 years ago. Today,
Yeah,
you can
definitely.
explain the situation, and this is a body having sex is
Normal.
normal, but the upload this video is very bad.
Yeah,
It's awful.
of
But
course.
it 10 years ago is a very impact
It
situation,
was
and
a disaster.
it's
It
a
would finish
yes, and
your social life.
yes, and will be a suicide. I don't know.
Social suicide. So yeah.
Yes.
So you think in this case, what if you had been the prime minister? And no, you're not the prime minister, because that case you would have to, the peak. But let's say you were, I don't know if you watch Game of Thrones, but there was a Game of Thrones character in that. The High Septon. If you were the guy, one of the assistants there, would have you offered or recommended the prime minister to try to hide the video in this case, if this would happen right now in the UK?
To hide, what do you mean with hide?
Because they try to put it down, the video, as soon as
Okay, okay.
they realize, they try to, like, oh yeah, not this happened, and try to solve it
Oh,
in other ways.
it's difficult. It's very difficult. I don't know. It's very difficult dilemma. I don't know.
Yeah, from the very
Mm.
beginning, they show you this very difficult dilemma that is like, oh God, what do we do? Do you have sex or not? Will you do it or not? Are we going to let her die or not? Are we going to
Yes,
admit this or not? Hell, it sounds
yes,
like
because
crazy.
the actual terrorist is different about the ETA or other. Now we are talking about eco-terrorism or biology terrorism, and maybe the digital terrorism is a new is possible, will be possible.
I think I think it's like very likely to happen. We are only a few years, maybe, if it hasn't happened yet, but we are definitely only a few years away from it. And I think it would be very shocking for society, because there is a whole generation, as you said, the Generation X especially, who are very technological. Everything happens in computers for them. So it would be very scary for them. So would you choose, were they were right or wrong when trying to hide information? They did the right thing or they did the wrong thing?
Um, no, they take the the wrong thing.
Yeah. So I agree with you. What do you think, Felipe? Do you think that this was a mistake, a good move, a bad move? trying to put down the
Yeah,
video?
it's a it's a good question because considering the politicians' age,
Yeah.
that's the right move for them because they maybe stay in a era where information could be hide easily and nobody will
Boomer.
find out, and maybe that
Okay,
maybe
boomer.
that will be
Yeah.
maybe that will have been in the best interest for everyone,
Yeah.
but in this era it's impossible almost, so they wasted their time. um, I think it's one of the points of the video, apart from the social critique of our uh, tendency to want to watch gross things, gross videos, and to decide what a person should do or shouldn't do. Apart from that, I think that the point is that politicians and governments are not prepared or were not prepared uh, in a few years back to the social impact of internet.
Yeah.
So maybe a politician today makes a comment in Twitter and he doesn't know the effects that will have in society. So I
Like
think that
Reguleke, remember that? Reguleke? The
yes,
woman, like, she was just a simple comment to a friend. And we still remember her, and she was fired, and it was a disaster.
yes, or maybe the first lady in talking via WhatsApp when the social boom,
Yeah,
el estallido social,
the social boom.
was
Social boom, yeah. Social
yes,
explosion. Yeah.
social boom
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
was happening, and maybe Piñera going to eat pizza, not knowing that one person could take a picture, and that will cause a very impactful social consequences.
Yes.
And I think that
Heavy.
Trending
yes,
topic.
all people uh, are not prepared for the impact of internet.
Yeah,
And
especially previous generations. Yeah. Oops.
or
Oh,
maybe
ay, that.
putting uh, illegal announcement that you cannot share the video or something like that.
Yeah,
Uh,
try threading the population. If you share this, we will follow you, or this is against the laws, whatever. Like, no one cares.
yeah,
New generations don't care about that.
yeah,
And new generations also don't care about the politicians, sorry. So
yes,
I don't think that they would be like, oh, poor prime minister, we should support him. Like, no, like, let's see the prime minister. They would be making memes about it all day, waiting for it to happen at 4. No one will feel
yes.
sorry for him. Only the older generations. So, Jorge Yancafil, hello.
So
Hello, my dear friend. Do you think that it was a good move or a bad move by the authorities to try hide the video?
Uh,
I mean, would you have
uh,
done the same thing in their position?
well, first, good afternoon to everyone. I
Yes.
want to know if I am sound clear because of the phones, or
No, we can hear you. Don't worry.
you hear well. Okay. Well, about this specific point, I think that it's not a good or bad move. It's just a logical move from every government to try to protect their, in this case, their prime minister. And the point for me is from the beginning, the people who surround young Michael
Michael
the
Callow,
prime minister,
Prime Minister.
uh, expect to avoid this uh, internet terrorism to protect their prime minister to do this.
Cyber
Um,
crime.
Oh, what?
Sorry. What? Ah, okay. Okay, don't
Internet.
worry. No, just
Uh,
continue, please.
so so but in like I was saying at the first moment, I think that Michael Callow and all the people with him, with her, no, with him, sorry, considered the possibility to of of the of missing the chance to avoid to have sex with the pig.
Yeah.
So I try to uh, empathize with Michael Gallo, and okay, I will try to do everything possible to avoid this disgusting situation. So, answer to your question, I think that it was right to try to hide the video instead of our current time. So when, like Felipe said, we are just one person to take one picture to blow them all, and in this
Yeah.
case, it happened. It happened. I I think that it was a very good idea to try to make a porno movie with other guy,
Yeah, we're going
but
there. We're going there. Don't worry.
yeah. So okay, that's my opinion.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because don't go there. We're going to that topic right away. So yeah, I think we all agree that they were trying to do a good thing. They were trying to help the minister. And this is something like Jorge and Felipe were saying. I think it has to do with generations. All the generations, boomers, they do not understand the possibilities that or yeah, the infinite possibilities of internet and how important it is for recent generations. You see that happening, for example, with online education, that everybody, like, no adult of 40, 50 can understand how you can study in your computer. And we've been studying our computers since we were like 10, and younger generations were born studying the computer. So this is like a generational barrier they have here, and they don't understand how easy it is to share information on the internet, how quick this works, and how easy it is for someone, just, yeah, like Jorge said, just one person to upload a photo and start the fire, like start the engine. So yeah, Jorge commented on something that I want to talk about. But we're going there right away. I would like to ask Nico. Nico, what do you think of the people, the British audience? At the beginning, they were like, "Oh my God, poor Prime Minister! Oh, this is so impossible. This is so wrong." But then, after a while, they were like, "Oh my God, let's see if he does it. He doesn't." And they were all about watching the video, and no one cared about the actual minister having sex with a pig. What do you think the population reacts like this? Turn on your microphone. If you go there, yeah, there you are. So, what do you
Yeah.
think? Why do you think people are like this
In the UK
in
or
the world?
here?
I think, first of all, do you think it would have been different in Chile?
Uh, yeah, because
In what aspect?
it, the, we don't have a royal family. Um, well, for starters, and it, well, what's the question again?
Yes, the question was, why do you think people did not? Because if you pay close attention, you would realize that they do not care about the prime minister. I mean, no one was worrying at the beginning.
Oh,
Everybody was like
yeah,
shocked, but then everybody was like, "Woo! Let's see if he does it." Like morbo, like Jorge was saying, very morbos. So why do you
yeah.
think people
Well,
are like this?
I think um, most of the world would feel the same about the prime minister, president. They don't care. No, no one cares actually. So there, I
So you
think,
say you think that it has to do with that we don't care about politicians. We see them like distant figures,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
we don't see ourselves
At
in them.
first, yeah, at first it was like, oh, the prime minister, poor prime minister, but then social media fires and started to go to that growth state of mind. Go, you want to watch it. You want to watch the prime minister shagging a pig.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
it's
about
a
it.
shagging a pig. Yeah. So Jorge is saying
Yeah,
here that remember the fact of cheating the terrorist and cut the finger of the princess. Ah, yeah, that totally changed the game, the rules, and reaction of people. Yeah, that's when everything escalated. Everybody was like, "Oh no, the prime minister should not do it," and there were like online polls, and everybody was like, "Oh no, this he shouldn't agree to the terrorist." But then the video of the princess being mutilated. I mean, she wasn't. After all, it wasn't her, but everybody thought it was her being mutilated, and everyone's reaction changed. We moved. They moved. Sorry, from caring about the prime minister and then showing their true interest. People care about royalty or charismatic characters. Let's say, even if it's not royalty, could be Alexis Sanchez or Arturo Vidal. But we don't care for our politicians. And we were supposed to care about the president. We chose that person as a leader, but after all, we don't. We only care about the people that we see doing other things on TV, for example, like the princess. So, speaking of that, I don't know. Sorry, I just want to remind Karen and Carlos that if you want to share some opinions, just raise your hand, and we'll go into you. Okay. So, guys, for those of you who are a little bit more active here, we spent a long time last session discussing about this. So, the authorities decided after this video where the princess was mutilated, they decided to do something, make a move. It was impossible to put down the video. They had to do something. It would have to happen, and they decided to make, like Jorge say, a porn, zoophilic porn movie with a porn actor and the pig, and they would fake this video, putting the face of the prime minister in that person. And they're showing that it's not an unlikely practice or uncommon practice. They are like, oh my God, it's an easy thing to do. And they start doing it. First question: do you think this has happened before? Do you think that authorities have, or powerful people, authorities, have cheated us with fake videos like this before? Jorge Pinto, do you think it has happened?
I don't know. I know I don't agree with the conspiracy politics or the factic powers of the royalty, but in a middle space, maybe yes. But before that, agree my opinion about this. I think our society, no, our culture, Latin culture or Chilean culture, it's very different about the culture, what is it? Britain culture,
The British
uh,
culture, yes.
the British culture, because they are very, ¿cómo se dice? Respectful or
Yeah, very polite.
very polite with the authority and the royalty. They have they don't be they don't be citizens.
Yeah, they
Uh,
are not
uh,
citizens. You are servants of the queen.
exactly, servants of
Yeah.
the queen, and you born in Great Britain, and you understand that the royalty is the first of her lives. Um, um, and if Premier Minister put on risk the Lady D, for example,
Yeah.
this society could be kill Prime Minister for
I know.
save Lady D. And the question is, if today you uh, uh, ask a question to Prime Minister, um, if he do this situation with the pig if will be if could be put in safe or safe Lady D. I think the opinion of the people is the same of the Black Mirror. Save the
Yes.
to Lady D um, and us do it with the pig also.
What you have to do. Do what you have to do,
Um,
but savor.
yeah. Yes, is the queen is the best of the world. Well, now about your question, I think in this context of the power of royalty and the respect of the people with the royalty, maybe they can be or could be do we will be do uh, this situation with powerful and authoritarian situations.
Yeah. So because they knew that they were putting at risk the safety or the prince of the princess, the terrorists specifically said no fake. Like you have to do it. If not, I'm gonna kill her. And they were like, we are smarter than them. We're smarter than him. Sorry. And we're going to trick him anyway. We're using the best producer, the best technology, the best everything. But it took just one quick picture of someone outside the studio to ruin it all. So, speaking about that, Felipe, do you think that so Jorge was, I think, if I got you right, you were trying to say that it was a wrong move, not a good move to try faking this and put it in danger, put it at risk, the life of the princess. But do you think that if you would have been on that position and you have the chances, would you have tried fake the video? Or do you think that authorities that have those chances are in their rights to try cheating population?
Uh, yes, I think the government will should have done everything in the power to not uh, please this. I mean, I don't know if it was a terrorist. I mean, at the end they say it was an artist, but I think the idea was not to give in, not to give in to this person,
Yeah.
but in reality, it was not to give in to public opinion, to
The public, yeah,
social,
social pressure could be something like
yeah,
that.
social pressure. Because you saw that at first, the people didn't want the prime minister to do it. There was a poll
Yeah.
where in the chart they say you should not do it, and the politicians were telling the prime minister, you're okay, you don't have to do it. And after the fake move, which was a mistake, but I think it was worth doing it, trying,
Yes.
uh, the public opinion change. And I think that that's the whole idea, was not to give in to, because we like to pass judgment easily in internet behind our screens safely. So what's the valid of that opinion? What's the validity? I don't
Yeah.
know.
Validity.
What's, yes, of that opinion if we are saying something behind a screen? For example, Piñera should do this thing, and in reality
Yeah.
maybe we,
Piñera should kill
yeah,
himself. Something like that. Or quit.
yeah,
There were a lot of people asking him to quit on the
yes,
internet.
yes. I mean, quit might be more.
Yeah,
I understand.
it's fair. It's fair. I think it's a fair
Yeah,
request. Good.
yeah, but I understand the analogy, because it's mostly the same. So I think that to avoid that judgment, which I think it's unfair for someone to be judged in internet, I would have tried to fake it also.
Yes. So I agree with you guys. And last class we were all like, okay, it's something that authorities should do. But we also we went deeper into that idea that authorities, I mean, it's okay for authorities, for presidents to do these moves. Try solving the situation with while cheating because they will be cheating us. I mean, they wouldn't they were not planning to tell the audience that this was a fake. They were planning to cover and say for the rest of the life that it was the president, the prime minister. So after all, they would be lying to the people. But it was for the greater benefit, for the great for everybody's safety. Can we, Jorge Llancafil, we discussed this, so let's start the discussion with you. Do you think, I'm going to ask you again so you can restate your thoughts to everyone. Do you think we can rely on the authorities' criteria to choose when to hide information from public and when to cheat us, when to show us fake information, but for the greater benefit? Can we rely on them? Can we trust them?
Um, what was the verb? Delay?
Rely is
Rely.
to trust in someone, to
To
rely
trust.
on
Okay.
someone, confiar.
Okay. 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 Well, I think it's a fact that all governments around the world don't give us um, the the full story of any event to that affect or safety or security of the people. But it's a pretty classical move, I think, from the powerful class to trying to make opinion using all the kinds of power that they have, especially that one that always we we don't consider a part of the state, but I think it's a part of the power of the state, and it's the power of the press, of the media, of the periodic, diario,
Yeah, or the social
yeah,
media in this case.
o- official information, and
Yeah,
especially in our tribulated times that the black mirrors of our cell phones give us. Also, I want to say we are in 2020, so we have the official information by one side and the unofficial information but by the other side. It's like to say
fake news,
I
what they
always
call fake news.
uh,
When you
so
have,
it's a
yeah,
lot of information, and it's a proof that like you said, there is that there are a lot of fake news. So, but this is a kind of game that I think that for the government still have benefits, still have profits to their malicious intentions. It's very difficult, the analysis, but I think that we are on a way to clear our thinkings, to make better opinions, but because here we have the information and the counter information, but a regular, I don't want to sound classist, but a regular family from La Pintana, I don't know, Puente Alto, maybe the Señora Juanita don't have the skill to see information on his cell phone and she just share, and maybe it's
yeah,
a fake news, and that is the kind of game that I'm trying to say, that it's very difficult to do analysis from the interpretation of the information. But I think we are in a good, or at least we are uh, avanzando,
we're moving
sustaining,
forward.
we're moving forward in a good expectation for the future. I don't really want to think how this estallido social or
Social boom,
October
social boom.
social boom will be in 20 or in 90 or maybe in the dictatorship. We only have the official information and nothing more.
Yes, that's one thing. It's the first time in history that we are experiences full access to information. We can find information everywhere. Like if you want to find something in a specific with a specific approach, you can easily find it. For example, let's say I want to Google, does Piñera like having sex with pigs? And probably I will find a page or a blog. Welcome, Hernan, to this interesting conversation. I love your face. Yeah, we discovered that Piñera is it's like so. How do you call this? Zoology? No, zoophilia. Yeah. So the thing is that if you want to find that on the internet, you will. There will be a blog stating that it's a fact, it's a true that Piñera likes pigs. Probably. Or if you Google anything you want, you can find all the information you want. You can just target information and find that information. Now, is that information reliable? Is that a reliable source? Do you know how to discriminate reliable sources? And sometimes, like we rely on authorities, for example. Authorities are the official channels. We believe in them, kind of. We trust them in when it comes to showing, for example, we compared this last time with COVID, that we believe them when they show in the MinSal page the numbers of COVID-19. Kind of. At least are the real, the only sources, official sources we have. But do we trust them? Do we believe those numbers? So where do we go? To unreliable sources. Because the problem in our generation, I think, has to do with access to information. We don't know how to manage that much information. So maybe, as Jorge was saying, this was a likely common situation a few generations ago when there was only official information, but now that everyone can produce and generate information, it's really difficult to say when it's real, when it's not, and especially in this case, when it's a good thing or when it's a bad thing, because now we are part of the decision, unlike we were before. So, Felipe, do you think that this was a good move, or that we can rely on authorities when it comes to choosing when to hide information or not?
Uh, I think that as a human right, all people should have access to all information. Maybe some information is more sensitive for the nation interest. Uh, and yeah, so sometimes maybe they're trying to do the best and they will hide some information. But I think that as a principle, uh, people should have access to all information. But there's a difference. Uh, I I don't listen what you're saying, Alicia.
Mm. Sorry. Even Señora Juanita in La Pintana,
Yes,
even her,
I
who doesn't
think
know how to manage information?
that's a all people should have access to information, and all people should have access to proper education, which is something that is very utopic, but we should aim
Yeah.
for that.
Hmm.
Um, who is the person taking the decision based on that information? I don't think that society should pass judgment like we saw in the video. Uh, because how many times have you read, for example, that in Facebook comments that, for example, there's a crime, might be something minor, and all the comments are, we should kill him, we should hang him, and that will
Yes.
happen if if only
Yes.
social judgment via internet will be valid. I don't think that should be like that, but I think that they had the right to have the information at least, and a good education to maybe not say stupid things like that.
Yes. That's the problem, I think. Education. I mean, we always come to this. After every discussion, it's about education. So it's about education because people don't know how to manage information. Even like maybe I think all of us are, I know most of you, and we're all educated people here. So maybe don't even like we don't even know how to fairly discriminate information. I've been cheated by fake news a few times, not that often as some friends, but I've been sharing information like, oh my god, this is terrible, how can this happen, and then hide post, delete post, because it was a fake.
Yes. But the good thing is that we can apply the scientific method to almost everything that we get in information. We should maybe read what is saying and try to find the source, try to maybe find someone expert talking about it and not someone like Salfate or
Yeah,
something like that.
that's the thing. But Salfati can call himself, I don't know, expert on
Conspiracy.
conspiration
Yeah.
theories to 2020. I don't know. You can call yourself anything you like in the internet. I have called myself or I've been invited to, I don't know, educational meetings where they call me experts on areas that I am not an expert at all. But it sounds awesome to be named like that, and I'm in the middle of a discussion where I feel like an expert, and I'm not. So yeah, everybody can call themselves everything. So it's about relying on people, and Hernan is going where I think the discussion was trying to go. He's saying, I think the discussion should be whether if it's valid hiding, it is valid hiding info from people when it is for everyone welfare or not, assuming that they're hiding it for noble reasons because it is for the other reasons that you're saying, of course it's not valid at all. And then would you like to share that reflection with the guys?
Sorry, I'm kind of lost right now.
Yeah, no, we were talking about the same thing we were talking about last class. I was asking the guys if they think we can rely on the authorities criteria to
Well,
share this.
uh, as I said last week, I think we should, but we don't always have the best people in charge of our country, so it's not always reliable for the people to trust in the authorities. So I think in an abstract way, in a theoretical way, we should rely on them. But depending on each specific context, it's it could be better or worse to rely on them.
Do you think that is there any country where people are like, yes, we rely on our like you said, Filipinas. In Philippines,
Well,
the Philippines.
I remember we talked about
Yeah.
New Zealand, Taiwan.
But do you think
Uh,
that in those countries people fully rely on authorities?
would
Ah,
sorry, if they
so
would rely,
no, or they fully rely on authorities. Do you think that they fully rely on
I'm
authorities,
not
or they
sure.
just,
I think we cannot be sure that everyone is relying on their
or like,
authorities,
yeah,
but
most?
that's why we have democracy, and not authoritarianism. Again, dear professor,
Yes, I
I
always go
think,
with that.
yeah, you always try to destroy democracy, but
Yeah, yes,
I think
yes.
most of the people should rely on them. So, yeah, I think
Yeah. So would you rely on Piñera?
no, not at all.
No, no, no. Anybody here who would rely on our president? I mean, do you believe, for example, let's talk about COVID. Do you believe, any of you here believe in authorities when they show the numbers for COVID? Or do you think that they are hiding information for the
Not
greater
in our
good?
country, but I think that Johns Hopkins University is doing a great job and finding the data that is getting lost sometimes. So and other kind of organizations are having more reliable numbers too. So I think
Yeah, they are still reliable sources. But those sources are not it's not that they're not available for most people, they are, but most people don't know they are available. So we go back to Felipe's problem, education. We have other reliable sources, but we do not how to access. Jorge Pinto, what do you think? Do you think that we
I
could?
believe,
Ah,
I'm sorry, what is the question?
do you think that we could? I mean, we were saying here that we should rely sometimes when it's for the greater benefit on authorities, that we should trust them, that they will know
Okay.
when it's necessary to hide information because of the greater
Yeah,
benefit.
of course. Yes.
But what
So,
is the line? What is the line for you when it's necessary and when it's for their own benefit, personal benefit? That's a
yes.
thin
Look,
line.
firstly, for your last question, I believe in the numbers of the COVID-19,
Yeah.
but I don't agree with the people that manage the crisis. For example, it's Vox Populi that the manage of Mañalich is wrong, and it's checking with an international organization. And now about your question, I think the line is very sensible because I agree with Hernan and Jorge. It's all about the democracy, and now we are in a very critical moment of our story, and I think that the hide information or this situation, the hide information is problematic because the information ever will be known with the people. For example, in a few days, we know that Nixon prepared a program for to destroy the government of Allende, but all all the people know that information. But
We knew in
now,
advance.
yes, we confirm this information,
Yes.
and this pass with all the information, I think, because the transparency politics and the evolution of the technology is indefectiblemente will be stay in a situation of that the authority don't couldn't be no couldn't do hide information to us.
Yeah. So this was a very controversial discussion last time, and we actually couldn't get to like an agreement on this because this is a very thin line, as you were saying. It's like when it's necessary to do it, when it's not. So it all depends on them. It would be very difficult to set a standard, like when I don't know, from the 80 million people, when 10 million people are in danger, it's okay to hide information. When 9 point blah 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 9 million people, no, it's not. It's very difficult to know when. And okay, we can Piñera can decide when it's necessary, or no, the full government, or maybe the senators. It's really difficult it's difficult for the authority to know when, and for us to give them the power to choose when. So one final topic we're going here is that do you think that does any of you this is a question that Jorge proposed, so I'm going to ask Nico, not Jorge, and then Jorge. I'm going to ask Nico first. Nico, do you think that this happened to the prime minister because it was intended to happen to the prime minister, to Michael Callow, or do you think that they were attacking the establishment, the authorities in general, all the prime ministers, all the presidents in the world represented in Michael Hollow, or Michael Ballo, I don't remember, prime minister, PE prime minister himself? What do you think? You have to turn on the microphone, Nico.
Okay. At the end, I remember that it was an artist that made all the fuss.
Yes,
So
the terrorist was an
it was
artist.
like, yeah, it was like an expression of art at the end.
Yes, an
It,
artistic
I
expression.
mean, yeah, like a social media experiment,
So do
sort
you
of.
think it was intended only for Michael Kahlo himself, or it was intended for to make him a representation of everybody's authorities and establishment authorities in general?
Um, for all of the the governments
So yeah,
in
he
general.
was he was attacking. So you think that he was attacking the government, the state, let's say,
Yeah,
not the president himself, the prime
exactly.
minister himself. Good,
Yeah.
thank you. Jorge, you are with your microphone on. No, Jorge Patricio. I told the other Jorge. Sorry, Jorge Patricio there. Oh, Kairi Fata. What do you think? Do you think it was intended for? I think I think Elisa's question is a trap. All my questions are a trap against democracy, Hernan. Jorge, do you think it was intended against Michael Kahlo, or it was an attack against everybody, everyone? Your microphone, Suri.
Sorry. Okay.
Don't worry.
Again. Well, I think that in this particular case, the terrorists maybe are anarchists, so they blame the all UK government, but I think it's maybe a crime hate
Mm-hmm.
specific to Michael Gallo, and I was thinking to put in their mind, and I know people who maybe are from various left-handed political thinking or more extremist people, but say a specific shade, one prime minister, one president, and I think that it's a political act to show power for against all the government, but these people, these anarchists, terrorists that at the end up, hang no, commit suicide after due their their objective. I think they are especially envenenado
Angry?
with Michael. I think he hates Michael Callow, and he has a lot of pleasure when he accomplished their objective of humiliating in public the prime minister.
Yes. If you had been, just one final question because we're going into more reflections before we finish. If you had been Michael Kahlo, Jorge Patricio, do you think you would have had sex with the pig?
What? If I
Would
am
you
Michael
have
Callow?
sex? Yes. Would you?
No, no.
Would have you done it?
I, I like pigs. I like pigs, but not in a sexual way. And
Yeah.
at the end of myself, I think that I will not do
It was a
this
handsome pig. Yes. A
because
handsome pig.
it's too kind of postura, no sé,
Yeah.
thinking,
Stance.
and maybe Michael Callow have response with England, with his political party, with his reputation, but in his person, uh, uh,
Life.
the
Personal
politi-
life.
the political thinking were more superior to his philosophical or personal thinking. In my
Yeah.
in my particular case, I will be more individualist and anarchist individualist, and I
I
will
totally
know
believe you.
I will buy a ticket to some weird country at the Oceania, and I I disappeared
Go
completely.
to hell,
Never.
everyone. Everybody, go to hell.
And
I quit.
fuck off the queen, fuck off the royal family.
Fuck off
No, no,
establishment.
no possibility to have intercourse with that.
Yeah. Yeah. So I was expecting. I didn't know what to expect in your answer, but I believe you. I totally believe you. Thank you. Hernan, you were trying to say something that you don't think that this is an attack. Can you share that idea with the rest?
Yeah, I think I agreed with the first part of Nick's response when he tried to propose that it was all an artistic expression, it was a work of art to criticize the society that we're living through. So I think that's kind of interesting. Maybe this guy was psychotic or something, but I
Maybe.
don't think he was trying
Maybe
a
he was a
terrorist attack.
helpless.
Yeah,
Something happened.
sorry, I don't want to bore anyone, but
You are
it could
not,
be a psychopath or a psychotic, and it's different. So I
of course.
think he might be a psychotic more than a psychopath,
Yeah.
and he was just expressing his art, and it was a work of art to criticize our society, how we live uh, through all these um, structures of hierarchies and stuff. So it might be just just a way to explain and to show everyone what are the real benefits and the potential dangers that we are living in our globalized society and all the impact of the social media too. So I think it might be just an expression of his art and his work, and I think it's an interesting proposal. So
Yeah.
uh, I know it wasn't the question, but I wanted to defend the first response of Nick. So
No,
yeah, that was
that's why I wanted to ask you because personally I hadn't seen it as as a social experiment or as an artistic expression, as you said. But now I agree with you. I think I'm changing my mind when it comes to this. Oh, fly. So because he if you see, it wasn't an organized group like when it comes to terrorism most of the time. They're organized societies planning events to damage population, but in this case he wasn't damaging anyone. He wasn't damaging the princess, maybe the pig. Yeah, could be the pig was. Yeah, I think he's the only victim here, the pig, and the prime minister too. I mean, he's also a victim, but yeah, but the princess did not suffer, and technically what the prime minister suffered was traumatic but not threatening for his life. I guess he wore a condom.
yeah,
uh
maybe he
so
was just making a point and how
yeah,
dangerous social media could be and how easily you can start a terrorist attack, but not wanting to do that. Maybe
yeah,
he
just
just
show
want
population.
to make a point or share his point of view, and that was it.
I never thought I would change my mind so easily, but I don't know why I had to say it like this, but I agree with you. Felipe, you were also saying something about this before we finish. Would you like
But,
to share that?
but it was Nick's idea.
Yes, we're going back. We're giving the
he,
credit to Nick. He's
he
been
has the
quiet.
trademark,
Yeah, this is
patent
Nick.
pending.
This is how it is. This is how he is. He says only a few words, but the right ones. So yeah, thank you for your great idea, Nick. Felipe, what do you think? You were saying something like this.
Yes, I agree with Nan and Nick, and I would like to add that I think that the artist hold an opinion about society, that he was maybe fed up with this internet thing where we all pass judgment, and we like to make people do something um, because we can give our opinions on the internet, and expect that the people to do it. I think that he wanted another outcome. He wanted people to maybe don't accept this
Yeah,
social
like
experiment.
revolt.
Yes, maybe people to not watch this, and in that way, they will have noticed that the princess was in the streets half an hour earlier, but because everyone was watching the thing, nobody noticed that the princess was already free. And
Because no one actually deeply inside, no one cared that much.
yeah, yeah,
No one tried to save her.
everyone just wanted to see the prime minister doing this thing, and nobody cared about the maybe that the princess was alive.
Yes.
So I think that this artist was maybe disappointed with the Britain society, and that's why he hung himself at the end. Maybe because he didn't want to live in a society like that. Because if I try to think another reason that he hanged himself, I can't find one other than that, because it wasn't part maybe of the social experiment or something. I think it was his last words about saying, "I don't want to live in this
In
society."
this society, in a society where no one cares about the well-being of others, like they don't care about the well-being of the president, not the prime minister, the mental well-being. It's just fun. You turn off the microphone, Felipe.
Oops. That's why I think that Nick was right in saying that it wasn't an attack. That's the reason.
Yes, I agree with you, Nick. You made a great contribution. Proud of you, babe. So yeah, we haven't talked about the wife yet. I don't know if we have the time. Maybe some quick reflections if you want to share something about the wife. The wife, poor wife, yeah. And they pretended to be together at the end, but this sex with a pig screwed everything between them. They looked like a healthy couple at the beginning, and at the end they were unhealthy and over. Hernan, what do you think about this? You wanted to comment on the wife.
I'm kind of disappointed with this finale
Yeah.
because I thought that she would be more supportive than she was. So yeah, I'm
I
kind of I'm kind of disappointed, and I'm also feel I'm I think that this episode is great because in several ways it makes you feel this kind of repulsive rejection to everything, you know. So in a way, you end this episode watching this episode feeling that even the wife caused you some repulsion because how is she doing? You know, the PM didn't have the fault, you know. So it's really, well,
I
I
don't
understand
know.
that she may not be accepting this whole situation, and it may be shocking to her too, but at the same time I think it's not the prime minister's fault. I remember all the process that she had to face, and and I think from the beginning until the end, the wife, his wife, didn't support him in not even a single minute. So it was different if she tried to be supportive with his husband, but she
But
didn't do it.
but should
Not,
you
not
should
even
you
once.
sorry, I hear myself. Yeah. Maybe if you could turn off the microphone a little bit. Yeah, thank you. But should you or we uh support our couples even in those moments when our values do not match or we don't personally agree with their attitudes? Should we still support them, or is it okay to say, you know what, I love you, but I don't think this is the right thing to do? He did it. I think he did it for political reasons, not for personal reasons. He did it for because of the country needed, because he needed to save he was the prime minister. She needed to save the princess. Maybe deep inside he was against this, but and his wife was always against this. She always said, no, I don't agree with this, and he did it anyway. And I think it's okay for her to say, you know what you just did doesn't go with me. See you. and then they stay together because of political reasons again.
Yeah, I think you're right, but in a deeper level, the prime minister is taking a very tough decision
Yeah, of
that
course.
is also protecting his own family. Because if you don't do that, you're risking everyone's life, and risking everyone getting another and another a terrorist attack that could be even worse than this one. This was the first one, so I think there was a lot of different situations and factors playing through this whole context. And well, I understand it could be traumatic for someone
Yeah.
after that, after watching
After
your
seeing your
husband
boyfriend,
do
yeah,
that big. I understand that. Of course, it could be, but I don't think she was supporting him as much as he needed. He was really vulnerable, not being stubborn. So I think in a way she just looked her own opinion, and she didn't try to understand what he was facing through this whole process too. So yeah, I think and well, let's remember that they also fake their healthy relationship after this whole incident too. So it was getting even more toxic.
yes, yes,
So
I agree with you on
yeah,
that.
I think I understand if she didn't want to be with her husband, but I I I, I cannot feel good about the whole process. Well,
Yeah, I
maxi
agree.
concessions.
I I feel, I also feel for, I think we all feel for Michael, but as Jorge was saying, in his case, for example, with Jorge Yancafil, he was like, you know what, I would not accept this, and I would just quit my job and go away. Maybe that's what she wanted him to do. Like, it's not my problem, it's not my responsibility. There are some people who would do that, and some other people who would go for the greater benefit, put the camiseta on, like put the shirt on, and like fight for what you believe. But there are some other people who cannot give away, or like a, like make a transaction when it comes to their values. So I think it's okay, and I think that in this case we will never agree, that we should respect his decision. For example, Jorge's decision to just do not do it, Michael Carlos' decision to do it, and risking his marriage, knowing, because the wife told him, "You, we're going. This is over if you do it," and he did it anyway. And she is still okay with rejecting him. But the wrong thing to do is to stay together after all. That's when it comes something. So everybody, if you are not agreeing with your couple, break up. That's the important thing to do. Doesn't matter what happens. So yeah, everybody that coming, like, it was my heart speaking. Okay, so guys, we are 20 minutes over time. So we have to finish here. This discussion can continue forever. Next class, I mean, next meeting, we will discuss episode 2 of season 1 for those of you who normally get lost. Season 1, episode 2. I haven't watched this episode, so let's see. I hope it's as interesting as this one. I would like to thank you all for coming here. It was a pleasure. Thank you for your reflections. Thank you for your opinions, your very, very smart ideas, and your beautiful faces on my screen. Thank you, everyone. Take care and have a great night. See you. Kisses
Thank
to
you.
everyone.
Bye,
Thank
Alicia.
you. Thank you. Thank you. Bye. Take care. Bye bye. Bye, everyone.